Like, why would it have to be the fire that you say it is coming down from it? I'm like, you're misunderstanding me. It's nothing about me. It's nothing about what I'm saying. I'm pointing out to you that there's someone making fire come down from heaven on the earth with a rocket. Never happened before. And like Daniel in his vision, he saw a he-goat flying across, or what was it, flying without touching the ground, and then it goes over to this ram, and it moves at this ram with collar, and then it goes through all these, like, and up from that horn came another little horn. It's talking about stage, like Daniel's describing the stage separations of these rock, like he says, and oh man, stage separations. That's like one of the most obvious things in this Daniel 8. Let me read a couple verses in Daniel 8, and you guys tell me if you think that. Because remember, they didn't know what they were seeing. They were just seeing something they've never seen before. Remember, I was saying we've only been flying for just over 100 years, and this was 3,000 years ago or whatever, or I don't know how, 2,700 years ago maybe, or 2,300. No, 2,700 I think. Anyway, let's look at Daniel 8. Let me just read a few verses. I'm not going to go over the whole thing, but I just think of the stage separations of a rocket launch. It starts out as a full rocket. It goes up, and then part of it falls off, and the rest keeps going. And then part of that falls off, and the rest keeps going. Well, this is crazy, but okay. So it's talking about the he-goat, and it says, and he came to the ram that had 2 horns. And by the way, the word ram, it doesn't always mean an animal. You know the Temple of Solomon or whatever. At the entrance to the Temple of Solomon, there's like the entrance of it, and there's 2 structural supports, right? Like where you walk into the entrance. Those are also called rams. They're the same word that Daniel used for ram. It's AYIL. It's Strong's 352. If you look at Strong's Exhaustive Concordance, it's also a pilaster, a post, a tree, something strong, and also a ram, the animal. So it's not for sure an animal. Daniel's more likely talking about, because he said he had to lift his eyes, and like it seems like he's saying that he's using that word in a different way other than an animal, but that just got me way sidetracked there. Okay. And he ran unto him in the fear of his power, and I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with choler against him, and smote the ram, and brake his 2 horns, and there was no power in the ram to stand before him. Like, just think of stage separations. And there was no power in the ram to stand before him, but he cast him down to the ground and stamped upon him, and there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand. Therefore the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken, and for it came up 4 notable ones toward the 4 winds of heaven. Like, think of specifically SpaceX Dragon, Crew Dragon. It has 8 what are they called, Draco thrusters or whatever, Super Dracos. They're like little rocket engines, and there's 8 of them, but there's only they're in pairs, so there's 4 flames that come out of the dragon. But then it says, and out of one of them came forth a little horn, which waxed exceeding great, toward the south and toward the east and toward the pleasant land. And it waxed great even to the host of heaven. And it cast down some of the stars and of the host to the ground, and stamped upon them.